The fog rolled in thick over the small, forgotten town of Eldridge. Even the streetlights struggled to pierce through the swirling mist, casting pale yellow pools of light onto the cobblestone streets. Once a thriving community, Eldridge now lay dormant, a shadow of its former self. The townsfolk, long since vanished or too weary to abandon their homes, left behind an air of desolation that clung to the very atmosphere. Clara, a journalist with a penchant for the macabre, had heard the whispers surrounding Eldridge. They spoke of a haunted house on the edge of town, where flickering lights and ghostly figures roamed at dusk. Intrigued, she set out that evening, driven by an insatiable curiosity. As she approached the dilapidated structure, the wind howled, seeming to murmur warnings in a language only the dead understood. The house towered over her, its windows like empty eyes gazing into her soul. Vines crawled up its crumbling facade, and the door creaked open as if inviting her inside. With each step, the floorboards groaned under her weight, a foreboding reminder of the life that once inhabited this place. Dust danced in the air, illuminated by a beam of light from her flashlight, revealing a staircase that spiraled into darkness. Clara climbed the stairs hesitantly, her heart pounding heavier with each creak. At the top, she found a hallway lined with old framed photographs that seemed to watch her as she passed. The faces were blurred, their features obscured by age or perhaps something more sinister. At the end of the hallway stood a single door, slightly ajar, revealing a slice of shadowed room. Pushing it open, Clara found herself in what appeared to be a child's room. A dusty bed sat against a wall adorned with faded wallpaper, depicting whimsical scenes of happy animals. But the atmosphere felt wrong, heavy, as if the joy was stripped from every thread. On the bed lay a doll, its porcelain face cracked, a single eye missing, as if it had wept for something long lost. Suddenly, a cold chill cascaded through the room, and Clara felt an intense urge to turn around. She resisted, stretching her hand toward the doll, drawn to it like a moth to a flame. Her fingers brushed against the doll's body, and in that instant, the room swirled with memories. Whispers filled the air, voices of children giggling, their laughter soon turning to cries, echoing through the wallpaper. Shaking, she stumbled back, her breath coming in short gasps. The whispers intensified, rising in a crescendo of panic. She turned to flee, but found the door now firmly shut, as if an unseen force held it closed. The doll's remaining eyes seemed to fixate on her, a sinister grin forming on its cracked lips. Panic surged within her, and she pounded on the door, her mind swirling in confusion. "Let me out, please!" she screamed, her voice muffled by the oppressive air. The laughter merged with her cries, haunting and relentless, tugging at the edges of her sanity. A fleeting shadow brushed past her in the darkness, whispering promises of sight beyond the veil. The chilling sensation of hands, tiny and cold, brushed against her skin, tugging at her clothes as if beckoning her deeper into the abyss. With a final, desperate shove, she hurled herself against the door, and it burst open. Clara stumbled into the hallway, half screaming, half laughing in relief. She turned to flee down the stairs, but as she reached the first landing, a sequence of terrified laughter echoed from above. The sound was unmistakable. Children at play mingled with something far more sinister. In a rush, she dashed out of the house, gasping for the fresh, fog-laden air. Clara didn't look back as she raced toward her car, but the laughter followed her, lingering, echoing in the corners of her mind. She started the engine, relieved to leave the cursed place behind, but as she pulled away, she glanced in the rearview mirror. In the reflection stood the doll, on the steps of the house, holding the missing eye in its hand, grinning wider than before. The whispers filled the car, curling around her thoughts, sweet, beckoning, urging her to return. As the fog swirled around her vehicle, she couldn't shake the feeling that she had escaped the house, but not the story. The story of Eldridge had only just begun, and she could already feel the pull, a dark invitation to come back